Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Foundry's Cursed Podcast, a paranormal podcast where we talk about stupid and strange stuff. We are your hosts. I'm JB here with my esteemed colleague.
I'm Grave. What's going on, guys?
Yeah. So Kylo and I here, we're here on another episode, guys, and we wanted to talk about the obsession of the Nazis and the paranormal that they were so interested in. So kind of like the Nazis and them looking into a cult. Apparently some discussion of a Nazi base on the moon, but we figured that was such a big topic in itself, we might save that for an episode at a later date. But there was a lot of stuff like that going on in World War II, apparently, like with Hitler and Himmler working together and hiring and getting together like a research group, like a paranormal division in itself to explore kind of stuff like that, to look for old Christian artifacts and relics to help win the World War II and everything like that, which is just crazy, which kind of led into some human experimentation as well, and a lot of archaeological dig sites and a lot of propaganda to support their Aryan beliefs and that being the superior race and stuff like that. So a lot of crazy stuff that this kind of led into, some of it being a lot of bullshit, like the Aryan stuff, but it was a lot of propaganda saying we found rock formations and carvings from decades ago and that supports our theories and Aryans being the greatest things ever, along with witches and pagans and a lot of crazy stuff like that. So I guess we're just diving straight into it, guys. Kylo, are you excited for this episode?
I am excited.
Yeah, me too. So there's just a lot of rumors, speculations. The Nazis, they were just obsessed with supernatural, the occult. Adolf Hitler was a massive believer, and all kinds of strange conspiracies and prophecies with the Spear of Destiny, the Crown of Thorns, and that kind of stuff, like the Christian relics, like I talked about earlier. So the chief of SS, who was Heinrich Himmler, but he was put in charge of the so-called paranormal division. Did you say anything about that? I had a different name, I believe.
No, I'm pretty sure you had it right. Heinrich. Yeah. Let's see. He was, a notable account for going out and doing a lot of Hitler's occulty desires and all that. He was the SS chief.
So Adolf calls him in his office. He's like, all right, there's a ghost in Berlin and you just check it out. Says, all right, man, you pay me the big bucks, I'll look at it, check out this fucking ghost. There ain't no fucking ghost in here. It's Jesus Christ, our fucking leader's insane.
Yeah.
He had ordered many expeditions, was in charge of a group of researchers, even looking into the Holy Grail, medieval devil worship, pagan witches. There were even some expeditions and some research into burials and psychics and stuff like that. It's so some of the stuff you don't see a lot in history or at school or anything like that, which is really interesting. The division was orchestrated by Himmler, and he's just known as the Paranormal Division, also known as the Adrenib. I'm for sure pronouncing that wrong, but it's Ahnenerbe in English. So they went on for a lot of expeditions, like I said, but there was a specific one that went hardcore into witches and whatnot, because they believed that the Jewish people persecuted and purged all the witches, and so they feel if they could find the witches left over, that they might have a way to purge the Jewish peoples, which is fucking absolutely bananas. Yeah. They believe that witches were looking for true German blood, and that's where the propaganda comes from and whatnot, to back their political just fucked upness, I guess. But the division was found early on in the Reich. Was found in 1935 by Heinrich Himmler. Was just purposes with political propaganda regarding the Aryan bloodline, which I said a couple times. The division consists of statements, beliefs, or practices that are claimed to be both scientific and factual, but are incompatible with scientific method. So it's you can't really prove it per se. See, like in 1935, this is like one of the first like expeditions they went with. A nobleman and an author who was pursuing witches and pagan sorcerers in the Finland area, and so Himmler worked with this guy, and they brought a musicologist, and were hoping to audio record pagan chants and like actually be a part of the rituals. And they claim to experience meeting a psychic and convince that psychic of the group to perform like a ritual for the camera and a tape recorder for them to get actual evidence of it, in which they summon spirits of ancestors and divine, and like they supposedly like witness future events and everything like that. So it's like apparently they found some hard-boiled evidence, but I couldn't find any of that so-called evidence or audio recordings or any of that. But that's ridiculous that the Nazis hired somebody and went out and like experienced pagan sorcerers and witches and had a psychic and everything like that. Like that's crazy to believe. Like during this, like the war wasn't really going on just yet, but I mean like they were heading into it, I guess.
Yeah, I know Hitler was really ambitious, trying to create a superhuman army. I'm trying to find it right now. German superhuman race to try to strengthen their resolve there too. And
yeah, that's literally what they were doing. They were trying to exterminate all other like possibilities and like take out all the weakest links and only to where the Aryan bloodline was here.
Well, I thought it was interesting because I guess like there was a little bit of speculation that how Hitler rose to power and all that was through folklore and like Germany and all that, like stuff that surrounds all around there, just trying to use as much as he can to get as much as he can.
Yeah, I mean it's like he's desperate almost, you know. That's what it seems like when he goes like to the paranormal side. It's like things are working out for him like realistically, so it's like he's grasping for anything that can help him out. That's why he's like, Himmler, you're not much use to me right now. Go out and look for the fucking Holy Grail to help me. It's like, Holy Grail, man, like why don't we fucking figure out what to do with this tank division? Jesus. So we had other expeditions that investigate like rock carvings in Sweden, Italy, Western Europe, Asia, even expeditions in Antarctica. So like this was all over the place. Like they were looking up and down all over the world for just anything, I guess, to help their war effort. So also like the Paranormal Division crossed over the medical field. The Institute for Military Scientific Research conducted extensive medical experiments using human subjects, which it was dabbled a little bit with the, I'm sure some of you know about the, what was his name? I think he was called, the Angel of Death. Joseph Himmler, I think his name was, where he did like the experiments like on twins, which is like some of the more famous human experiments that they did. Was managed by a man named Wolfram Sivers, which a name like that, yeah, not great, dude. He was appointed the director by Himmler experiments in freezing waters, that would kind of like push the limits at sea and try to push the bounds of certain pilots that would crash lands and like really bad weather conditions. And they use collections of like skeletons and Jewish skulls and try to do like showcase experiments showing like how the Jewish people were inferior to the Aryan race and the German people. Also simulating gunshot wounds to try to make trying to heal them up the best way possible, you know? It's like getting a little newspaper card clipping out, and it's like, oh fuck yeah, dude, $200 for this experiment, sure. And then they shoot you in the fucking neck, and they're like, all right, Bobby here's got 2 days experience of medical training. Patch him up real quick. And yeah, so I don't understand how like that's gonna work out. They did some really dumb shit back in the day with that kind of stuff. So about that Holy Grail stuff, I want to kind of get into like the Hitler's obsession with like the Christianity and him trying to toss up with those relics or anything like that. So. Kylo, did you find any research about that?
Well, the most I could find was that he was just trying to go out of his way to collect all like the high artifacts and all that, so he would basically become an invincible ruler and leader for the German people. But of course, not successful. Like I said, finding the Spear of Destiny and the Holy Grail. And what'd you say, the Crown of Thorns?
Crown of Thorns, yep.
Yeah, like nothing really showed for it, but he used anything he could, whether it was like occult stuff, German folklore, Lord kind of all around the world.
Yeah, which is just so weird because like he dabbles in with like the stuff to do with Christ, with the thorns, Spear of Destiny, and he like kind of goes a little bit to the other side of the spectrum with like pagan sorcerers and stuff like that, and witches.
I thought it was interesting because I was reading, I forget what website, but I guess like a lot of the German soldiers and high-ranking officers would still, I guess, believe in Christianity and all that, but they'd like abandon hope, faith, and mercy, love, and justice to become more bold and stronger. They would replace it with... nope, they wouldn't replace it with anything. They just...
so they just abandoned, fuck it, we don't need it.
Yeah, they don't need it. They became mean, hard, brutal. So obviously a lot of accounts of that stuff. But they kind of turned their back on like the Christian religion, even though they were still trying to go out of the way.
It honestly just sounds like a really big cult that got way too much power. I mean, like obviously, like he came with too much power, and that should have never happened to the nation, and should never have been able to do such a horrid thing back during World War II. But like, it sounds like just like a cult where a dude's like, yeah, we're gonna get the Spear of Destiny, the thorns that Christ wore. Like, what? The what? That guy? Which is, it's insane to think about that. So there's this painting that like Hitler went all over the world for. This painting, it was a really popular painting, and it's rumored to have like a coded map on the other side of it that would lead to like lost Catholic treasure, instruments of Christ, including the crown of thorns, the Holy Grail, and the Spear of Destiny. That once he believed that once he had these instruments that he could possess like unlimited power, like Palpatine, kind of like one of those supernatural powers. Like, wow, never have I heard that like in the more modern world. That was one of the major things like the leader of a nation was trying to do, or an army was like, we're gonna look for the Spear of Destiny.
Yeah, that man was insane. I feel like the second like he made a paranormal division in his army, he should have just been tossed out. But
yeah, but no one was really in the position to do so.
But yeah, one of my favorite accounts though too was the Germans trying to, like at the end of the war, trying to go out and get some werewolves to help fight with them on their side.
Really, werewolves? Werewolves. All right, tell me a little bit about these werewolves now, okay?
Well, hard evidence-wise, I know they were like trying to use them on the Eastern Front, not the Western Front, but they would use them or try to use them. There were supposedly accounts of them actually getting some, but no hard evidence. But yeah, they
just a photo of Hitler standing with a werewolf army.
But
have you never heard of the Werewolf Women of the SS?
I have not. No.
That's a film with Nicolas Cage.
Really?
No, it's actually a fake film. Is that like whenever, what was it? That Grindhouse movie. It's like 2-movie double feature thing. Robert Rodriguez film and a Quentin Tarantino film. Death Proof and Planet Terror. One's a zombie movie, one's a serial killer movie, and they made a bunch of fake trailers with that. They made Machete, Hobo with a Shotgun, and the Werewolf Women of the SS. Oh, and Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. But Machete and Hobo with a Shotgun are the only two that actually became films. But like, it was a complete like made trailer with like what's Rob Zombie's wife? Sharon Moon Zombie, I think. She's in it. And like Nicolas Cage is in it. It's like, it's really comedic and like B-movie-esque, but like obviously it's based off a little bit of those rumors.
Although I thought it was really funny because why there wasn't really solid accounts of them actually having werewolves. The German army would often try to mimic shit like that gruesome. Like whenever they like beat like a couple of German soldiers, or American soldiers, or just any soldier, they would like leave behind like these men just mauled and fucking like,
really,
yeah, like
to try to put the fear,
like, yeah, like holy shit, do they actually have werewolves?
Like clipping to the fur.
But yeah,
like a little note, please do not use silver bullets. Oh, fuck. Hans, write that in German, you idiot.
They found out our secret, dumbass.
Jesus Christ, that is hilarious. That's really interesting. I didn't see anything about werewolves. And like going that hard into the mysticism side of that kind of thing.
Yeah, once I like found that, I kept trying to dabble into more and more, but I couldn't find anything more.
Outlandish.
Yeah, like that. That was the furthest.
That's
that was
crazy.
really far out there. Like, oh my god, I don't believe that happened at all.
You don't really?
Yeah, I just feel like some German soldiers were just like, I want some blood.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, that's really, yeah, a lot of crazy stuff there. There are a lot of rumors of the actual like of the Spear of Destiny, like how Hitler actually found it and stuff like that, and that I think it actually may be in a museum somewhere.
Really?
Or a replica is, at least. I'm not sure. But no one's allowed to look at it, and people think that it's like natural fake or something like that.
You know, if that man really wanted to get a lot of power, he should have stormed the Vatican. Try to see what's down there. I don't know.
You know what? That'd be interesting to see those findings.
Mm-hmm.
But there are even like rumors of like whenever that Hitler, like he escaped to like the South Americas and whatnot, they used a fake body. But that's the deal with a lot of high-ranking like Nazis, is that they escaped and went to South America to avoid war crimes and stuff like that. But I think that's pretty like common knowledge.
Yeah.
But I think that's everything I have here on the subject, my man. What about you?
That's about all I have.
Yeah. All right. Well, this has been another really fun, short little episode of the Curse Podcast, you guys. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like. Hit that subscribe button for more spooky stuff in the future. My channel is down below, as well as Kylo's. If you guys want to check us out, I'm on Twitter at 97JohnnyBoy. Kylo, you got a Twitter handle, my man?
Of course, at GravediggerG, guys.
All right. We'll see you later on the next episode. Some more Curse. But until then, see you later.
Bye.